President Jacob Zuma's leadership 9 wasted years. ANC chairperson Gwede Mantashe says the last 5 years of Zuma's presidency were not great. The former president is defending his legacy. But can he justify his actions? We spoke to political analyst Karima Brown and Sipho Siepe.
In matters like this, you always find that the truth is always in the middle. One, the President Zuma's response was to respond with facts about what happened under his administration, and of course, conveniently omitting some of the issues that Karima Brown had indicated. For instance, it is a fact that we did address the issue of HIV/AIDS. It is a fact that the life expectancy of South Africans improved under his presidency. It is a fact that more houses were built. It is a fact that the survey that was carried out in 2016 did find that South Africa is #1 in terms of provision of basic services. It is a fact that we did build 2 universities. It is a fact that we have what you call the NDP, around which government builds all these programs. These are facts. And then you also have opinions. And we need to be able to, when we deal with this, let the facts speak for themselves. It is a fact that we had in Nkandla. It is a fact that the ANC failed to manage it. It is a fact that we had a state capture. But it is also not a fact that the state capture only started with Jacob Zuma. What is emerging with Bosasa indicates that corruption and the capturing of the state by some powerful lobbies and companies happened even as early as Mandela and Mbeki. So when we deal with these issues, we can accept that, and as Jacob Zuma himself says, that there were mistakes, and the ANC also accepts that. But where we fall short is where we don't appeal to what the Constitution says. The Constitution of this country is very clear. Section 92 says cabinet members are individually and collectively accountable. All right. So when you are a part of the team, you must assume that responsibility as well.
What is forcing us to critique him is the fact that state capture is said to have cost the country 100 billion rand. And that's a conservative estimate. Other economists put it at 1 trillion. Some people say that we have lost, as a consequence of state capture, the opportunity of creating 1.2 million jobs. The point is that we have all our state enterprises, all our state-owned enterprises are bankrupted, even the ones that were doing really well. Right. And President Jacob Zuma is involved front and center, as we've seen coming out of the commission, through Barbara Hogan, through Thabisi Jonas, through
Pravin
Gordhan, and a whole range of people, that on President Jacob Zuma's instructions, certain governance issues were actually just ignored. And we must admit that in the African National Congress, there are competing political projects. President Jacob Zuma's political project was to actually build a state within a state. The academics who did the betrayal of the promise report compared it to a coup. If you look at the criminal justice system, today we're sitting with a situation where the SIU 10 years ago gave the NPA a report to say Bosasa is involved in corruption. President Jacob Zuma made sure that the people he put in place there never prosecuted any of those people. Richard Mdluli has a 10-year accusation that he was involved in the killing of his lover's boyfriend. President Jacob Zuma made him the head of crime intelligence. This president chose his presidency to erode state institutions.